noise sample.
Mm.
Mm. I'm just writing some stuff down real quick.
It's okay.
Yeah. Are there any games that you like artistically, or that artistically interest you? Actually, I'll write down. We'll probably talk about. I just forgot the game. Life is Strange.
Mm.
But yeah.
I do like the way they do that. I guess I don't really technically have like any particular ones that I'm just like, oh, I guess it's more like I like the concepts of the artwork that's like in it. Like I like the concept of a character. Um, but I do really think that what they did for Life is Strange is really cool.
Yeah. That's the game that I was talking about, by the way. I really hope I can get this that Let's Play uploaded, at least the first one. If people will actually like it, I'll keep making more of those if technology permits.
No more technical difficulties.
Hopefully. I'll find out. I had more technical difficulties, but hopefully something I could fix. Like the program kept crashing on me, but I think it was because I was running two at the same time. So I'll just do one, then the other. And
Okay.
hope that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. My sister is calling me.
Okay. Hey,
Sorry about that.
no problem.
I let her know, so she shouldn't call me again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll worry about that later.
Been experimenting with this particular piece because I wanted a specific kind of lighting,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm testing a new way of applying color.
In Photoshop?
Um,
Was that a yeah? Oh, okay.
yes.
Let's make sure.
Yeah. I saw you on when you first started. I could see your video.
Uh-huh.
I could see you with the glasses on.
Oh, yeah.
They look good.
Thank you. I feel weird
Uh,
wearing them.
why? Oh, because you're indoors and or something?
Nah, I mean, just getting used to wearing glasses, I guess, and just
Hmm.
looking at myself with glasses on.
Because you're just not used to that.
Yeah,
Okay. I think you look nice with glasses on.
appreciate it.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I really don't want to have to do that.
And then also, we don't have to stick to art once we like, I guess, get past the introduction. Um,
Hmm.
I guess it'll just be spontaneous. That's usually how I go. Every time I have a new guest on the show, I always get not nervous, but I'm always trying to like think about what I need to ask. But then I just kind of just let it go.
Oh,
And then
okay.
the fact that I can edit stuff out and take out any long pauses makes things a lot easier for me because I don't have to really think too much. I try not to, for my sake, to practice. I try not to have a lot of ahs and ums and likes and you knows. It still happens though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The let's plays help with those too.
Yeah. So, like, I know I've seen you play the, oh, what is that creepy one?
Outlast.
Yeah. I saw an episode of that. Did you do another one?
I did. I just haven't uploaded it yet.
Ah,
I
okay.
need to. I think, or did I upload it? Um. Oh. Uh. I'm not sure.
Oh.
I have 3 episodes done.
Uh,
I just don't know if I've exported the last one. No, I have all the files. I just haven't put it together yet.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty funny when you were playing it.
The last one was like I was watching myself play it and I started cracking up because I got like I can't really explain it and it kind of ruins it, but if I tell it anyway, but there was a long ordeal and I was panicking and got lost and like made the ordeal longer because I got like I was panicking and like laughing at myself. I was like, oh my
Okay.
god. I was scared. I was scared.
Right.
Stupid people in the game. Yeah, I want to upload that one. I need to upload that.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to see it.
The game stresses me out so bad. I like
Because it's
playing it, but
scary.
it is scary. Like it's um I don't remember if I talk about it in the second one or the third one, but like how many have you seen? Just one?
Yeah.
There's another one uploaded. It doesn't have a
Uh,
good thumbnail. I probably have to re-upload the thumbnail or redo the thumbnail. I never did a
okay.
thumbnail for it. Um, but yeah, that one I kind of explain a little bit about like scary games and why I get scared playing scary games. Um, It wouldn't be fun otherwise. I don't think.
Yeah. The point of it is to be scared.
Yeah.
So give
I'll send
you
this to your Skype just so you have that.
okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Is that the second one? Yeah.
You did send me the right one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a link to porn.
No. Better not.
Stressful ass game. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay, so we'll just figure this out as we go. That's what I always do. So I'm gonna go ahead and quit procrastinating. If you're ready, I just do that. I'll do an introduction, and then because I do a lot of stuff in the beginning as well now too. Like I say welcome to the console explosion all in post production, and do an intro to the video or to the podcast. So,
right. Okay. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, cool. All right, so today I have a very special guest. It's a friend I've known for a very long time. Very, very great artist. Her name is. Do you go by Blue Leo online, or do you go by your actual name?
No, I go by Leo Neal.
Leo Neal. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've known her for a very long time. Every time I check in on her art's been better. Like it increases tenfold every time I check it out. So I'm a big fan now. I feel like when we first met, our art was kind of on his first, like a similar skill level, like years and years ago. But then, like every year, you just get to the point to where I'm just demoralized, and I don't even try anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm like, don't stop.
No, I've gotten into other things, but most definitely, very very great artist. I've been a big fan. She's done some fan art in different kinds of styles, and I'll post links of everything in the show notes and in the comments below, so you guys have everything to check out. But how long have you been, I guess, drawing or just doing art in general now?
Well, I've been drawing since I was very young. So I've like, I went from the stages of doing doodles and kind of letting that evolve into something, you know, that really interests me. I didn't actually get too deep into focusing on like an actual career with it until back in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I had joined DeviantArt. And that was a good experience for me joining that art community because it allowed me to be introduced to a lot of different career choices in the field of art because I didn't know like all the different ones. So that really helped me. And then seeing all of the artwork that's on there, it's very inspiring. So
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of artists on there that I've very very much so been inspired to do different kinds of art. I learned about like perspective art and stuff like that, and I've shown you stuff like that, and it's a very awesome world. Didn't we a while ago, I guess a while ago now, go into a DeviantArt like meeting, a meetup of some sort?
um
What was it? It
I
was it was in San Diego.
oh, there was a meetup here. Yes.
Yeah. Got to hang out with some interesting characters, and I think Cliff Blazinski was there. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I was too scared or too lazy.
Right.
A little bit of
Oh,
both.
yeah,
But very, very great community.
it is. And it's really nice that they do that.
Right. Do you get a lot of critiques and advice on art through DeviantArt?
I actually don't. But I think that's because I don't actually ask for critiques. I know I probably should.
Right.
but I have a tendency to not allow that to be. There's a little feature that they have on DeviantArt that you can ask for critique.
Huh.
So when you post a deviation, you can actually ask for a critique.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So do you use it more as a platform to get your art out there?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. That's pretty cool. And so I've seen you have a growing range of style in art, but do you have any influences or artists that just you really enjoy, I guess, partaking in?
There's actually quite a few artists that I'm very taken with.
Mm-hmm.
One of them that I really love is Adam Hughes. He has a lot of influence as far as like comic books. So everything that he draws is basically comic book related. But he just has such a great art style, and it borders on that realism. And that's,
Right.
I think that's why I love it so much. I love it when I see something that's quite like his work, or anything that has that realism quality to it. Not to debunk like cartoon stuff, because I do enjoy that too.
Yeah, he does a lot of DC art, right?
Is it DC? Yeah.
Supergirl and stuff like that. Because I remember seeing, I think it was you that did an artwork of Supergirl.
Yeah.
And it kind of had that style to it. Like I noticed that, and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, his artwork is really beautiful. I love his work. I'm a fan of Alex Ross. He's been in the game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And his work is phenomenal. He's a traditional artist, as well as Adam Hughes is also traditional. But I believe that he tends to draw traditional, and then he goes into digital with some of his work.
Okay.
But he uses like Copic markers, and he's amazing. Let's see, what's another one? I know there's quite a few people who are familiar with Artgerm. I do like Artgerm's work. He's pretty popular. I think if you saw his work, you probably, because that was actually they were featuring some of his work at the.
Oh right, yes, we did talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking up his name now, and that does ring a bell. He's actually done some really cool stuff. He has some Street Fighter stuff in there too, so I respect that.
Yes.
And Fist of the North Star is a very great anime. If you haven't seen that, it's an older anime, but it's a classic.
I should definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's a very violent one, but
I
guess he's done some fan art of that as well. But so do you actually read any comics, or do you more so just lean towards the actual art of it?
I'm actually not like a big comic book nerd. Like I don't own like a whole bunch of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have an interest in diving into looking at them, because I like to read. So when I get to see something that's more visual, I like to try that out too.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I actually talked about this during the last podcast, and it might be something that you may like based off of like conversations we've had in the past. But the Watchmen, the graphic novel, or I guess you can call it a trade because it's a collection of comics. I'm reading through that, and the art style is very interesting. A guy named Andrew from A Squared Reviews, he's a huge fan of the artist, and he makes a good argument as to like just how the art style changes throughout the comic book based off of like themes and time era, the time of the year that they're not time of year, but the era that they're in. Excuse me. They changed the artwork to kind of reflect that, and it was very interesting. And I went back and looked at it again and noticed a lot of that, and that was very, very interesting how art can really change the vibe of a story, change like just the overall feel of it in general. It's very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, I think I interrupted you. Did you say you were there were any other artists that you were inspired by?
There's actually quite a few. I just don't think I should go through the entire thing, you know.
It'll be the whole entire podcast.
For sure.
Artist.
Just name a whole bunch of them, Go down the list.
Do you have any favorite movie adaptations of comic books?
Well, I've been a big fan.
I think I know what you're going to say already.
I know, right? You should know this.
Yeah.
No, I really love because not to say that I'm not a fan, like The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
For that, I really love that because Christian Bale was playing him, because I think he did such a phenomenal job playing him. But I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you seen? You saw the latest one, right? Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
I haven't actually had a chance to talk about this with anybody, but like I saw it as well. But what did you think of it?
I thought it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I really enjoyed how they did it. I wasn't quite sure if I would really get into it, but I actually ended up really enjoying that movie.
Yeah, same here. Walking into it, I didn't know how they could make a whole movie about Ant-Man. Like I thought he had a very interesting story, but as a full feature-length film of just that one character, I was like, I don't know how they're going to pull that off. But it actually it wound up being a very enjoyable movie. Like I liked it a lot. I liked it more than some of the other ones, surprisingly.
For sure. Yeah.
And it was funny. It was entertaining. The action was great.
Yeah.
And I heard they confirmed a part 2 with the Wasp, which that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I love the there was an old cartoon, or kind of old now, I guess you could say, but it had the Justice League, and then they had Wasp and Ant-Man in it as well. And that was the first time I was introduced to those two characters, and I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was a very cool concept. I didn't like Wasp at first, but or that version of Wasp. There's different, I guess the comic books are a little bit different for her depending on which one you read, but yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. And the was it the Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
That one's going to be phenomenal, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had rewatched Winter Soldier, and I realized just how much I actually really like that one too.
Yeah, that one was really good. I need to go back and watch it again, and I love how, I don't know if you've seen this before, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know many people who watch this, but if you haven't, it's really good. It starts off slow, but it's so great, and it ties in with the movies. It tied in with the first season ties in with the Winter Soldier, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, I think I should try to catch up a little bit more. I did try watching it. To some degree, I think some points in it were a little bit flatlining for me.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I'm not giving it all of, getting all the way into it and then, giving it a real chance. So that's why I didn't really get too far with it, I think.
I have to admit, it starts off really slow. I'm a big fan of Marvel, so I think I kind of just pushed through it without realizing it, because I've heard that from a lot of people. But the new season just started up. I think there are 3 episodes in now, and it's getting really good. Season 2, or no, 4th. I think it's the 4th season, and it's just they're getting into the Inhumans, and there's all this crazy stuff going on. There's actual mutant, or they can't call it mutants. They're Inhumans, but there's all these superpowered characters going on, and it's really good. It gets crazy.
Okay.
That and Heroes has started up as well, which I was a big fan of the old season of Heroes.
Yes. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yes.
Have you seen the new season yet?
I haven't actually.
Oh man, you gotta check it out. There's also before you actually watch that, there's like a 6-part miniseries. I can't remember what it's called, but it's actually pretty good. It kind of introduces you into the new season and some of the characters of the new series season of Heroes Reborn, and then there's some old familiar faces that come back as well. So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I won't talk about it too much. But you definitely got to see it if you can find it. I think I want to say that is it ABC I think you can watch the episodes for free online on their website. I think it's a limited amount of time. I'm not sure if they have all the episodes on there, but you can, I'm fairly sure, watch them on there.
Oh my gosh, you're just like making me want to look it up right now.
It's oh man, you should just watch it right after this podcast after we record
I
this.
know, right?
I'm a bad influence.
Yes, you are. It's okay. It's okay.
But there's so many good comic books things going on right now. I could talk about it for days. Arrow is going to come out soon. The Flash is coming out soon. A new season 2 of Daredevil's been confirmed. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yes.
Yes. I can't wait for that. That's Netflix. I mean, that's a whole other topic on its own, but just Netflix has really stepped up their game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can do. I wish that they could somehow, I know they can't, but I wish they could put the actors from that Daredevil into the movies. But I know with rights and legalities, that's never going to happen, but it would just,
that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Or they could probably just make their own movie altogether. I don't know if they'd want to, one, acquire the rights to the characters as well, and then two, go against, the big budget movies. But I think people would still watch it.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think they did a pretty good job with the TV series. So if they wanted to do that, I think that they could definitely approach it.
Yeah, and with the positive feedback they've gotten back with season 2 confirmed, I have full feature length movies. I doubt they'll happen, but other TV series of possibly less well-known characters, it might be possible that they do that. Like something like Taskmaster, or I think he actually might be in the Daredevil movie, which he's one of my favorite anti-heroes. He's not really a villain, but he's a really cool character. Don't know too much about him. Very strange character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learned about him from a video game called Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He's in that, and that kind of that introduced me to him, Nova, and Rocket Raccoon. All very cool characters that are gaining in popularity now, since Nova, I think he's not popular yet, but he will be. I'm fairly sure. They talk about him in the Guardians of the Galaxy, or they talk about his core, the Nova Corps.
Right.
But he's supposedly the head of that, or some big wig. I feel like I'm going to get mauled for not knowing exactly about him, because I don't like him as much as Taskmaster and Rocket Raccoon. But I didn't play him in that game, so that's probably why I wasn't interested in him.
Okay.
But I have some friends that love that character.
And they are the ones who are going to maul you for it.
Probably, yeah. I'll I'll just go ahead and tag them and save the trouble, but they're going to be mad. I don't know his full story and whatnot, like I do the other two.
Yeah.
All right, so Attack on Titan, the movie had a very limited release in America. It was made over in Japan, and I know we talked about it previously, but the anime, I don't know how to get into this. I want to talk about this a little bit, but I just don't want to spoil it for you. Do you plan on actually going to go see the movie?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna spare too much then, but you've seen that, right? The anime?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I love that anime.
I'm hoping they do a season 2 of that one. I haven't heard anything about that one, but I've heard rumors, but I haven't heard anything confirmed just yet. The movie was fantastic. There's going to be a part 2 of that one that comes out again in America. I think in a couple of weeks, by the way. They both are already done. I think they already released in America, but it's going to be the 27th of this month, I believe, is one of the days that it's actually, I'm going to go see that. But just for anyone who's listening, and for you as well, they will be doing it very soon. And you live in California, so you should be able to find a theater that'll play it if you actually are up for going to see it, which I think you should. You should watch the first one online if you can, and then definitely go check out the next one, because I'd like to hear your opinion on the art style, because it was very different. Very, very cheesy, but not cheesy. This very, man, it's like the modern Godzilla movie. It's like they took the old Godzilla movies and just kind of brought it back and breathed new life into it. and
Okay.
I'd like to hear some good. I like hearing your opinion on stuff like this, so I look forward to you seeing it.
Okay. I'll make sure I check it out.
Excellent, excellent. Um, Also, you said you've been doing you've done commissioned art for a long time now, and that's something that um, I find very interesting and very impressive. There's a lot of people who are very great artists. I think you personally, I think a lot of your art you could do a lot of like games like Magic and other card games and stuff like that. I think your art could be on there. And there's a lot of other artists who are just like that, like on DeviantArt or on Facebook and stuff like that. But you're a little bit ahead of the game right now. I think, in my opinion, you have a growing portfolio and you do commission work. Do you have any sort of advice just from your experience so far on how to kind of get into getting commissions, even if it's not game related? Just doing commissions, like just having that on your resume really helps. Like, do you have any advice for people who are trying to get commissions, trying to get their portfolio buffed up?
I think the key to that is just continuously um, working on something every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, it keeps your skills up to snuff, and then for two, it'll also help like expand everything that you're trying to do. So it kind of should be something that you're interested in doing every single day. You should be working on some like multiple things because sometimes it's good to take a break from something else that you're working on and then work on something else. And then I guess just, you know, I guess apply yourself to different places, even if they turn you down.
Right. Yeah. You gotta not be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have any sort of practices, or do you just do like you try to go like all the way in and do a certain kind of art, or do you just do like, today I'm going to do eyes and today I'm going to do nose or something like that?
Um, well, that's an interesting question. Only because I actually don't do that. Like, I used to do that only because it's generally something like when you're trying to learn something because you're not that familiar with it, but when you actually do know what you're working with and what you're trying to draw, I guess it's more of at the moment I'm more focused on learning how to apply color in Photoshop because it's very different from traditional.
Hmm.
Um, because I love watching a traditional artist work with paint, but I know that I can't replicate that in Photoshop. So it's very difficult trying to get a certain type of blend in Photoshop, whereas traditional, it's not as difficult to blend colors. I don't know if that makes sense because to some degree it's very particular because of the colors that you're mixing and how it mixes with each other, and Photoshop doesn't really do that. So I'm mostly learning about how to apply color in Photoshop at the moment. Um, but to kind of like go over something again, I guess mostly what I would do is like do a full face or a full figure, or I would do some other practice with, um, like I did a fake still life a couple days ago, and it was based off another artist that I was watching on YouTube, and his name is Javier, I think, or Havner. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I know the name is it's Josnvar, I think. I actually might have mixed one of those letters up. But anyway, I was watching something because he does a lot of still lifes. And I was very curious about how to apply color in Photoshop that kind of replicates that. So I did a still life, a fake still life,
Hmm.
and I kind of put something together, and I was pushing for something very particular, and I got it. So it worked.
That's pretty cool. Now, I've
Yeah.
seen, just so you guys know, she does do live streaming. I don't know if you still do that, but I've watched some of your streams before and I've seen you draw in real time. And for someone who's not as skilled and doesn't have the fundamentals down, it's mind-boggling watching you draw. Like, it's almost like wizardry because I'm watching and then you just something that I tried to like, I'm still on the point of trying to draw faces and remember how to make a nose in this direction and this angle and whatnot. And you just like a couple of brush strokes and it's like, oh, done. I got the face. Oh, another couple of brush strokes. I got the shading done, and then some color. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, this is crazy. And it's really cool. I mean, because I don't understand from an art standpoint, but from other things, like just doing things over and over again to the point to where it's a second nature until you can go on like the next level of things and get better at it. It's very interesting seeing that in real time, just that level of mastery in art.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's very kind of you. Because I'm still learning myself. So there's just so many things to learn about it when you're trying to learn color and how it affects itself and contrast and composition and working with perspective and just a whole bunch of different stuff. So
Mhm. Yeah, it's a never-ending journey, I'm sure, of mastery.
it is, but it's also fun.
Right. Definitely. That's
Yeah.
that's any passion. It should always be fun. Anything you do. Like I love gaming. I love being around games. Gaming and philosophy are the two things that I love. Like if I can improve someone's quality of life, or if I can improve someone's quality of life by playing games or something along those lines, or just talking about games, like it or anything nerdy really. It's just, fun. But also there's ways to improve and up your quality and make sure your content is as good as it can be. And that definitely takes practice. Even video games take practice, like fighting games. And that's something that
I
I've learned.
believe you. I believe you. I mean, I've tried.
Yeah.
I've dabbled in that.
Let me think here. So we've talked about comic books. I know you don't play games as often, but would you ever consider like what if you could? What kind of games would you like to do art for, or what kind of? I guess I'll kind of expand it. What would you like to do art for, like either gaming wise or I guess comic wise, for that matter? And that includes like card based games or tabletop type stuff.
Okay. Well, I've always been fascinated by the artwork that I've seen in Magic the Gathering.
Hmm.
Um, and I definitely think I would love to be a part of that and experience that because that would just be absolutely wonderful. And then I guess if anything really, I've seen a couple of things as far as concept art goes in different movies and um, I've seen this one artist and he did like this full render of a character for Alice in Wonderland.
Hmm.
And goodness, I can't remember his name at the moment. But he's on DeviantArt and he did this image of him and it was just so amazing. I was like, wow, I want to be like that, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I honestly I really don't mind trying out something that's anything that's fantasy related, sci-fi, basically anything that's kind of mythical
Right.
or just kind of sits away from the realities of, the norm
Hmm.
is something that I'm interested in.
Okay. And then I don't know if you're willing to talk about this on the podcast, but like I know you're working on like a book, or something more than that. Is that something like, huh? How to ask this? Like, do you have any actual art from that on your DeviantArt or anywhere online, or do you keep that to yourself right now?
Um, are you talking about my book?
Yeah.
My personal book?
Uh huh.
Okay, because I know my sister and I are working on a book
Oh, I didn't know
together.
that.
Yeah. Because when you had asked me about the game, that we're
Mhm.
no longer doing. It's because now we're focusing on a book instead.
Oh, okay. Are you able
Yeah.
to share anything about that?
Uh, not really.
Okay, it's top
Because
secret.
there's because it's kind of still it's actually a different storyline,
Uh-huh.
and it does sit in more of a supernatural realm.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so it's meant to be a little bit more fun. It has a different focus it from the game, and
Mhm.
um and it's gonna be we think it's gonna be a lot of fun for people to read. It's
Cool.
something fresh, and it actually has a little bit of politicalness in it.
All right.
Yeah. So, because my sister,
She's
she's very
outspoken.
savvy on that.
Yeah.
So she's going to be doing that from, everything that she knows about that. So,
Right. And I've talked to her. I've talked to her a few times, and she's very well spoken and
mhm.
outspoken and educated on the topic. So she and very passionate as well about
Yes.
what she knows. That'll be interesting. Is there any artwork samples online or any previews, or is it all top secret right now?
It's all top secret at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
because
about
we're
you?
definitely going to try to get it more out into the public once we actually have something for it to show.
Okay. Well, you have to let me know or possibly join us in the future so that we can talk about it once you're able to.
Definitely.
Um, what about your other book? I guess your personal one. Is that something you're able to talk about?
I can talk about it a little bit. There's actually a few characters from the book that are actually on my personal DeviantArt account,
Hmm.
leoneal.deviantart.com.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's a couple characters that are up there. I actually have not posted anything on them in a little while, though, mostly because I haven't been able to focus on the book too much. Um, but it's also just more of it has a supernatural aspect to it, and its focus is basically on these people who are very different from, how do I put it, like regular people, because they have special abilities and they can kind of do things that other people can't. And they're a part of a society um, that basically the focus of the first book is meant to gear toward understanding them and where they come from and just how that works in general. I know that's not very specific,
Hmm.
but um, because I'm trying to break it down in a way where I'm not actually giving anything away.
Right. Yeah. That's an art all in its own.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't really say too much.
Gotcha. That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll find out more in the future, and I'll keep an eye on it and definitely share it once you're able to share more on it, which I look forward to it. From what I've been told, and I won't share anything either, but it sounds really interesting. Um, I I haven't read too many fantasy novels or anything like that. I've only read one, which is a Sword of Truth series, very great series. I think I've told you about it before, but yeah, yeah, I love stuff like that. I don't get a chance to read as much as I'd like to, but when I do, it needs to be compelling to some sort, and plus having artwork in it as well.
Hmm.
I do love comic books, and for that
Hmm.
very reason, I like to have pictures. I mean, call me primitive or childish or whatever. There's tons of adults who love comics.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see why more books can't have that in there.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that, I think, is because me and Ashley had gone back and forth about um whether or not we wanted it to be a graphic novel. But surprisingly enough, my sister actually doesn't like the comic book style.
Hmm.
So she doesn't want to do it in as a graphic novel. But she still wants to apply images, so we're going to do it in a different way
Hmm.
where every chapter has an image
Okay.
and then try to expand it a little bit once we have one for each chapter because she wants to incorporate images, but she just doesn't want it in the graphic novel way.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a challenge.
It's an experiment, really, because I don't know, except for children's books. I don't really know too many books that have something like that, really.
Right. I know there's a few. I think they're nonfiction books that'll have like diagrams and images and stuff like that to kind of help
Mm,
understand an idea.
right.
But in the realm of fantasy, I don't know. Maybe I've never read Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, so I don't know if they might
Hmm.
have it in them. But for the most part, yeah, except for like maps in the beginning or the end of a book, like the Sword of Truth series has a map in the beginning of it, and I kind of help illustrate the the vastness or just the span of a certain area to kind of help understand when they're talking about all these different locations. It kind of just helps you visualize the traveling, the distance that they have to go and whatnot. But as far as
Right.
illustrations and things of that nature, a lot of books don't really have that. And I would like to see that. That would be refreshing to see more books that have stuff like that or some sort of um, reading type deal. I don't know if you can call it a book. I mean, yeah, a comic book, graphic novel, whatever you want to call it, just something new. Because graphic novels, I for the most part, I haven't read too many of those, I suppose, but they're pretty much large comic books. You know, they're like a collection,
Hmm.
like a
Basically.
trade almost. And
Hmm.
and the interesting thing about the Watchmen is it's from what Andrew told me, it's not a graphic novel; it's more of a trade, which is a collection of comic books. But in the Watchmen, there are also like these two, like 1 to 4 to 5 page like excerpts of different things. Like there's a book that they take an excerpt from that's actually written from one of the characters in the comic. There's different articles from newspapers and other things that are actually within the lore of the world, and it's very very interesting how they do that. It kind of catches me off guard because I'm reading a graphic novel and all of a sudden I have like 4 pages of text. So at first that threw me off, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" But as you read into it and you get into the lore of this world, it's very interesting, and you want to find out more about it. So it's
Hmm.
not hard to do a combination. Well, I shouldn't say hard. It's not impossible to do a combination of like only pages of text and then illustrations with words and things of that nature. I think
Hmm.
we do need to play with that a little bit and expand on our media, what we consume. It
Yeah, I think so.
be very very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, fan art. That's one of the things that really caught my attention from you. Is like, I mean, I'm a nerd, so anytime I see something that's game related that you've done, that always like I'm like, man, that's super cool. Like, I got to look at that and kind of study a little bit. But what kind of fan art have you done so far? Like, I know you've done Legend of Zelda, and I saw one very recently of Heroes of the Storm. I can't pronounce the other girl's name, but Asmodan and then Tarandi. I don't know how you say her name.
Mm.
But what else have you done?
Um, I honestly haven't really done dabbled too much into fan artwork. I am actually going to try and do that a little bit more though,
All right.
because I really wanted to open up a patron,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and I think that the best way to do a patron page would actually be to do a lot more work with like fan art.
Yeah, you gotta give.
It's fun for people to look at and they're familiar with the character and it just kind of gets the excitement up, you know?
Yeah. Do you have any prospects already that you want to do?
Actually, I don't.
Oh man, I got some suggestions for you. You got the right person right here that you got to talk to. All kinds of cool things that'll make all the peoples happy. Most definitely. There's so
Okay.
much you could do. Um, Obviously, Attack on Titan is an easy one. Sword Art Online, which I believe you watched that one, so
Yes.
you can do tons of stuff like that. There's tons of video games. I mean, I can say a lot of fighting games like Street Fighter. You can do Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive won't. I love that game, but it's not going to get you a lot of views. Sadly, it's not as popular as some of the other fighting games. But
Hmm.
Mortal Kombat, man, I'm telling you, you just talk to me. I'll give you all the
Okay.
suggestions, all the anime. Well, see, you have done. I guess you can call it fan art. I don't. I guess you don't consider this, or maybe it's something that I don't know what it's called. But you've done things like Tom Hiddleston and Loki. I would
Oh,
consider that.
okay. Well, yeah. I mean, like, because definitely Loki is more fan art. But I have done a bit of Tom Hiddleston because I'm a fan of him. So it's not a surprise that I did him.
Right,
And I done a few different um actresses and actors, and
right,
those are on my main account on DeviantArt. Yeah, but I still, again, I haven't done anything recently
right. One,
except for that Tom Hiddleston picture.
don't you have like two of him at least? You have Loki.
I oh, there's a definitely a fan art on the CP account.
Hmm. One that you should try doing is Channing Tatum as Gambit, since he is going to be Gambit in the new
Oh my
movie.
God. See, the thing about that.
Okay, that's always a good intro into a story.
Well, I don't know if I actually like him as Gambit. Sorry.
No.
Because I mean, like, Channing Tatum, his acting skills are so
I, you know,
good.
I will agree with you actually. I think he has the face of Gambit. Um,
Okay, that's
I'm
interesting.
pretty sure that's why one, his star power, and two, he has like that chiseled chin sort of look. I
Uh-huh.
don't think personally, I don't think he can pull off Gambit with the accent, that Creole accent.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to pull that off. I mean, what do you think?
Honestly, I really don't think he could. I'm only saying it because I've never heard him do like any type of um like really off, not off, but like accents that are strong. And Gambit has a strong accent, last
Yeah.
I checked.
From what I've seen of him so far, he's been kind of a one-trick pony. Like he kind of
Yeah.
has the same personality throughout all his movies. I mean, I've seen him in what was it, Step Up, or some sort of dancing movie. I think he was in. You know, he was in the 21 and 22 Jump Streets, which I love those movies. But I mean, he played a bro. You know, he kind of plays a bro in most of his movies.
Hmm.
From what I've seen, I haven't seen too many movies with him in it, but it's always been kind of the same sort of like urban accent or bro accent sort of situation. So him playing Gambit,
Yeah.
I think, is a chance for him to kind of branch out. Hopefully, he doesn't
Yes.
screw it up. The Marvel movies, I don't know if this is Fox or the other company doing this, but if it's the one that's been making all the good Marvel movies, then there's a chance that he must have some redeeming acting qualities. But if it's Fox, then I kind of doubt
Oh, the way you put that so eloquently.
it. Right. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know when that one's
I
coming
don't
out.
know if he can nail that accent. I'm just saying.
I can't do it. It's a hard accent to pull off.
It is.
If he does, though, the ladies are going to be all over him even more than they already are.
True.
'Cause that that accent, ladies love it. I'm
Mm,
jealous of it.
I think most people like accents, at least when they're not, familiar with it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
I mean, I tried many a times to do the Gambit accent as a kid, watching the Fox Kids X Men.
Hmm.
So many times. That and
Yeah.
then Rogue. I love Rogue. Her accent,
Oh, okay, yeah. I've
which
always loved Rogue.
yeah, I feel like they screwed up Rogue in the movie.
Mm.
She didn't have that. I don't know what you call that Southern Belle accent.
Hmm. Yeah.
I could rant about the Fox X-Men movies for a while. The only thing I liked about it was Nightcrawler, though. He's awesome.
Yeah.
That's another one you could do, Nightcrawler. Bam.
Okay. I did
You,
get a couple votes for that. Okay.
there you go. Definitely do some polls or something if you haven't already.
Oh, I will.
So many different. If you're doing fan art, there's so many things and actually I don't know how this works, but probably the consoleexplosion.com would definitely help get the word out. That's kind of what we do. We have the multi-channel community for the nerds out there. So once you actually start getting them, let me know. We'll probably put it on our website. We'll see. I'll talk to Jared and see what he thinks of that.
Okay.
Always
That
willing to
sounds
help a
great.
fellow nerd. No problem.
Okay.
So yeah,
Awesome.
as one of us grows, we all grow.
Yes.
So what kind of art styles are you working on right now?
This one's actually for a comic book.
Hey,
It's called Terminus Team Up,
I don't think I've heard of
and
that one.
it's it's not like a it's not a big one because not a lot of people know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the client wanted me to do something with the characters for this comic, and he doesn't know if he's gonna do it as a cover or sell it as posters.
Oh,
Yes, so we'll
that's
find out.
it's exciting either way. Is that a local
Yeah.
comic to San Diego, or is that
The owner of the comic is actually in Georgia.
okay?
Yeah, and his comic book store is in Georgia. So, um, I'm not sure if this will be available in like different
States or
yeah,
regions?
right. But it might be because I have seen some of the other work.
That's pretty
Like
cool.
for what was the name of the comic book? I can't remember it now. But if you ever see it on the shelves, then there you go.
All right. What was it called again?
For this one, it's Terminus Team Up.
Terminus Team Up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. And then, is this the first comic book you ever worked on?
Yes.
Okay. So this is exciting time for you then.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know too much? Do you know anything about the story of this comic book, or is it something that you can actually share with us?
This one is about, well, from what I've read, this one has uh, a group of superheroes, and they end up apparently going up against another. I don't think I would want to necessarily label her as just a thief, but she's kind of a mix between Tomb Raider and what was the other one that he described it as? Because I'm using the same words that the client used for the character.
Indiana Jones, or maybe was that Naughty Dog game called? Uncharted, maybe.
No, he actually didn't describe any of those for her.
Okay.
I think it might have been Catwoman though.
Okay, that's what I was gonna guess next.
Yeah. hmm So she's kind of Amber Fox is her name,
Okay.
and she's kind of a person who can go into different types of centuries and um, retrieve artifacts and whatnot for clients.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then she ends up stealing something from this team of superheroes. So that's why they're on her.
Ah. And that's where the trouble begins.
Yes, that's where the trouble begins.
That's very interesting.
Mm.
Well, I look forward to that. I mean, that's really exciting time though to be able to work on a comic book. I mean, maybe for you it's not because you're actually in the situation, but from my point of view, like just watching you grow as an artist, that's really cool.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. I mean, because it is kind of exciting
Hmm.
to, I've never had my stuff printed on, like um generated where it's like put on a comic book or sold in store or something like that. So it is exciting.
Cool. Do you have any plans on doing your own kind of comic book in the future? Like I know you're working on a book, but like a comic book, like with panels and stuff like that.
Honestly, I was actually debating whether or not I should make the Mortal Odyssey into a comic or a graphic novel.
Hmm.
It was something I had been debating since me and my sister had a conversation about um, how we wanted to write the book that we're writing together.
Hmm.
So it was something that I was, debating.
Have you actually tried like putting some panels down and just giving it a go and seeing what it looks like?
No. Not at all.
Have you actually done panels? Like I know you're doing artwork for this, but like have you actually tried doing a comic book format with different panels and stuff like that?
I have.
Okay, how'd that turn out?
It came out fine. I actually did one for a contest. Um, it was for the Darkness.
The comic book Darkness?
Moment.
Like there's a game and a
Yes.
comic book called The Darkness.
Yes.
Huh.
For the comic.
Okay.
And that's why I had to do things in panel.
Ah, that's cool. Little fun fact: they made a game based off the comic book, which was very interesting. Was a very good game.
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, the gameplay was kind of there, but the storyline
Mm,
was really cool. Like how you had
okay.
this supernatural storyline going on while also having like an infight between mob families. It was very
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not
I
sure what
have
the comic book's
seen.
about though.
I'm sure it has somewhat similar um, type of storyline, but oh gosh, what was my train of thought? It disappeared. I can't remember.
The Darkness. Um,
I know it was about it. It's just I can't remember exactly what I was gonna say.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
But you mentioned entering a contest.
Oh, maybe that's what I was gonna go into. Go ahead though.
Well, okay. What I guess the first question is why do you enter these art contests?
I enter art contests because for two reasons, primarily.
Mhm.
Um, every time I do a contest, it helps me get away from doing things that I've been doing for clients. And it kind of helps me expand because the subject matter is usually very different.
Mhm.
And it kind of just helps me challenge myself in a way.
Definitely. Do you ever get
So,
worried about the competition or
well, I think everybody gets worried. um, I think it's mostly whether or not people are going to like it.
yeah.
Because in a sense, it's kind of like you're doing fan artwork.
Yeah, I've seen some of them and they're actually really cool. Like I saw your Gears of War one, I like that.
Hmm.
I can't remember what the other one was. It was like it looked like you're probably not gonna know who this is, but Shuma Gorath from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It was like this eye monster that you had. That one looked pretty cool too.
Ah, okay, yeah. I
Uh,
actually really love that one. I put that one down as a portfolio piece.
cool. Yeah, it was a really good work.
Yeah.
Good piece. Um, but I guess my point is there's a lot of people, sometimes myself included, who are there are talented people out there who are afraid to put themselves out there and compete with others, you
Mm.
know. And do you feel like that's a hindrance to not apply for these sort of, these contests, these art contests that they're doing?
Mm, yes and no. I mean, you have to be very interested in doing it because obviously not everything that they do for a contest you're going to be interested in.
Right.
Because there's been a couple that they've done that I haven't really been too interested in doing or participating in.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess it's because I feel like as long as you're doing something with yourself, then it's not necessarily a hindrance because you're still applying yourself to something and not nothing at all.
Most definitely. Makes sense. Makes too
Yeah.
much sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people out there who are into art and they just don't put themselves out there like they should be doing. It's like, dude, you got good skills. You got all this work right here. Just go ahead and apply for it. It's like who cares if you win or lose? It's just you'll have another piece that you might wind up really liking. But
Hmm.
doing it out of not doing it out of fear, I think is the wrong reason to not kind of enter yourself into these tournaments or
Yeah, for
contests.
sure. Like if you're very serious about being an artist and you're interested in going in a specific field and there's a contest that has something in relation to you, when you're a fan of it and all that stuff. So I definitely think people should apply themselves to those particular ones for sure.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
We could have anything else here. I don't think there's anything else that I have missed going over. So I think we're getting close to the 1 hour mark. But I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything before we do. But I guess, well, closing statements. I mean, you already gave a lot of advice as it is already, but is there anything, that has helped you along the way with being an artist? Like, is there anything that you haven't talked about already that really is a key piece to why you are as good as you are right now and how you keep improving?
I guess the only thing I would have to say is passion. You have to have that drive. Even if it means that at some point you feel like you're not getting the right result, or you feel like you're down in the dumps about something that you're doing and you're just so frustrated with it. You're just like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. And it's like completely difficult. That passion is totally going to get you through that. Because I've been there multiple times.
You and me both.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, though. And what is the best place to reach you at? And again, I'll have all the links down in the description below. What's the best place for them to check out, either to get in touch with you for commissions or just to start a conversation with you?
The best place to go, I'm usually always on my DeviantArt. I check it every day.
Oh.
So that would kind of be like the best place to go if you want to shoot me a note on there, or even if you go to my main website on Wix, leveda.wix.com/leoneal. You can send me a message on there too, which will go right into my email, which I check every day too.
Cool. All right. And then closing notes from me, basically, I don't know what I was going to say. I don't have any closing notes. Just check out her artwork. It's very good. I've seen her grow for so long. She also has like Naruto on there. There's a lot of fan art that I guess you kind of forgot about. Supergirl's on there. I mentioned that before, but just tons of cool non-game related and like cartoon and anime related stuff too as well. Just original work. Definitely check that out. But you can find me. I'm The Philosopher on Facebook.com/philosopher, YouTube at The Philosopher, and Twitter at The Philosopher. But you can always find me and all my content on theconsoleexplosion.com. Also on the YouTube channel, The Console Explosion. But definitely, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, press the like for this video, and we always have new content. We're trying to get it out maybe 2 times a week, hopefully, but at least once a week. And always check out our multi-channel community, and we're also on SoundCloud, so you can listen to us on the go. But as always, I'm The Philosopher, and thank you so much, Leveda, for joining the podcast. I've had so much fun talking to you, learning.
Yeah, it's been great.
All right. And so as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.